Hi everybody, today we're taking shots with the Zero Image 2000 Deluxe Pinhole camera. This is my first time in the field with the camera, so I thought shooting at Belle Isle would be a good choice. This is the old Belle Isle casino, which opened up way back in 1908. So here's my setup. I've shot one test roll with it so far, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to this camera. It's a classic pinhole camera made of teak, wood, and brass, and I just really love the look of this thing. The light's bright and contrasty today, so I just took a reading on my light meter in reflective mode. There's a dial in back of the camera that you can rotate to get a correct exposure. You set it to what your light meter says and then go around to f138, which is the aperture in this camera, and get your time. There's a little framing viewfinder that comes with the camera, and that's very handy. It's not completely accurate, of course, but it gives you a pretty good idea what your exposure is going to look like. Put it in front of the camera or behind the camera to frame your shot. I like this little frame and find it very useful. In fact, I'm going to use it with all my other pinhole cameras too. I moved to the bridge to get a view of the casino from there. Here's the camera setup. The nice thing about pinhole cameras is that they have a nearly infinite depth of field. It's always good to get something in the foreground when taking a shot, just for some scale. I'm going to try and get a nice high contrast shot here of the grading and the shadows in the walkway, shooting almost directly into the low winter sun. You can see the Detroit River in the background. It's January, so everything is still frozen. I'm using Tri-X at ISO 400, and I usually shoot with Ilford FP4 at ISO 125 in a pinhole, and I really wish I was today. The exposure times are very short with Tri-X on a sunny day like this, and here an eighth of a second is impossible to expose that by hand, so all of it's mostly guesswork. Now I'm on the conservatory grounds and have my camera set up. I'm going to try and get a good centered shot here. This place really looks good, even in the dead of January. The grounds are crisp, clean, and very well maintained. You can see the Renaissance Center low in the horizon on the right. Here's the conservatory on Belle Isle, designed by Albert Kahn and built between 1902 and 1904. Its formal name is the Anna Scripps Whitcomb Conservatory. It's a remarkable structure. You look at this thing and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's one of the jewels of Detroit. Here's a few stills I took of the conservatory mid last summer. Okay, here I am getting set up for another shot, just a little bit closer to this pagoda and the grounds. You can see the tower in the back. Again, with pinhole cameras, the depth of field is just about infinite, so it's always a good idea to have some object in the foreground for interest and depth. Okay, this is shot number 8, and I'm getting set up to take one of the conservatory. I'll try and get it so you can see what the shot will look like. This is really a wide-angle view. Here's what it looks like through the little frame. This little thing comes in really handy. I'm glad it came with the camera. It's just another little classy thing about this well-built teak and brass pinhole camera kit. Here we are on shot number 9, and there's a set of steps in the foreground of the dome, so it might make for an interesting shot. Another thing I wanted to mention is I'm using my Sekonic L308S Flashmate light meter. I take this wherever I go. I love this light meter. It's small and easy to use, versatile, and well worth the money. Here I am inside the conservatory, and you can see how steamy it is. It's just like walking into a rainforest. I really didn't expect this in January. I'd like everybody to get a really good look at this. This is gardening at its best, or horticulture. Just outstanding. It's just perfect. Here we are in the fernery in one of the wings. It's just a magnificent structure. There's every type of fern you can imagine here, and has a real prehistoric feel. Some people are starting to trickle in, so hopefully I can get a couple of good shots before they get here. This is the very last shot I'm going to take, and I'm trying to get an elevated view of the ferns in the structure. Should be a decent high contrast shot. Well, I'm all done and headed home to develop the film. It's been a good couple of hours here on Belle Isle. This is the first big test of the Zero Image 2000 Deluxe Pinhole camera, and my expectations are pretty high. I tell you, there's nothing as dreamy or otherworldly than pinhole photography. Well, thanks for watching. I really hope to see you again, and I better put this camera down before the cops see me and get a ticket. This is Jeff signing off.